Hello everyone, my name is Charlie Berkwine, and for our class I read the short story The Pit and the Pendulum by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm just going to give a quick run through of what the story is about. I got my notes right here. Okay, so the story starts with an unnamed author sitting down before 7 judges, and he's afraid of what lay ahead of him, and he loses consciousness. He wakes up in darkness, and he knows that he's condemned to die if he hasn't already. He is certain that he is in one of the many horrible dungeons that he's heard that many of the convicted go to. He cannot see in the room that he's in at all. It's pitch black. He decides to use his sense of touch to learn about this slimy environment that he's in. And while doing so, he eventually trips and discovers that by his head is a bottomless pit. Okay. Once again, he falls asleep, only this time he awakes to see bread and water before him. He basically absorbs what lay in front of him and realizes that he was drugged. Starts to get sleepy, and then once again he loses consciousness. The narrator awakes to find himself on top of a board, strapped down. He notices that there is meat before him as well. The next thing he spots is a pendulum right above him and the rats beside him. He watches as the pendulum starts to go down, getting closer and closer by the second, just watching the time go by as the pendulum gets closer and closer. When it starts to get close to him, he has the idea that with his free hand that's not strapped down, that he could rub the meat on the straps that he's tying down on. That way the rats can chew through it. This idea of his works, and he leaps off the board, and immediately, or almost immediately, the machine is pulled away, and it's just as if somebody was watching him the whole time. And then the prison walls then start to get very hot and start to move inward. That way the narrator will have no choice but to fall into the bottomless pit that's in the middle of this room. Suddenly, the walls start to cool and retract away. As he is about to faint once again, he is saved by the French, who have come to end the Spanish Inquisition. So, the article that I read that goes with the story involved is called Secret Mexican Diary Sheds Light on the Spanish Inquisition. This was posted in 2017. I'll link it in to Discord just so you can see and read it yourself. But as they say in here, it's a story of torture, betrayal, and persecution in captivating Mexicans almost 500 years after it happened. And basically, it's about this man, I'm going to butcher his name, Carnival, and I'm just going to read a part of it. Let's see. Secret record. When he was first arrested, the authorities let him off with a strong warning, but kept tabs on him. Far from giving up his religion, Luis de Cabral became a leader in Mexico's underground Jewish community. When the Inquisitioners caught up with him a few years later, he was sentenced to death. He was just 30 years old. Before he was executed, he was tortured so badly that he revealed the names of 120 fewest Jewish people. Historian Elisha Gocheman explains. His captors forced him to listen to those heretics, which included his own mother, were tortured in the tortured in the cell next to him. He tried to commit suicide because he couldn't cope with having them about his family and friends, and he didn't manage it. We know the excruciating details of Louis' the persecution because he managed to keep secret diaries, but these were not any old notebooks. They were painstakingly crafted miniature manuscripts with almost microscopic handwriting in Latin and Spanish. Some pages were decorated with gold leaf, and he scrapped from pages of a Bible. Each of these memoirs were no larger than a present-day iPhone, most likely to keep hidden away under a hat. So overall, this is just about how this man Louis was able to keep this diary hidden away. And I just kind of feel like, it really just kind of pinpoints in. The Pit and the Pendulum is about a man who is who was tortured in the Spanish Inquisition time, you know. And the Mexican diary is just like, it's a real person from that time period. So I just feel like it's, you know, that's just a big similarity right there. And it's just, if you want to read it, it's a really good read. It's just, you know, I just kind of feel like it's almost similar to like the Anne Frank diary, like from the Holocaust, you know. He just kind of, it's like another record of another horrible event where people were killed just because of their beliefs. And I just think that's something that should be talked about, you know. Well, thank you.